Hey guys, this is Echo Soundworks with another tutorial for MassiveSynth.com. First, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please sign up at youtube.com/ADSR Tuts, that's Tuts. In today's video, we're going to be checking out this Centered and Chord mode, or modes, inside of the Unison engine in Massive. So right now I have just a generic, the default preset pulled up. And to get this, to show you really what's going on, I'm just going to turn my Unison voice up to 2 right now. Turn on my Unison spread by activating it. And now you can see here it's on centered. And you have these two different modes, centered and chord. Well, they do things very differently, and they spread out the voices in a very, very different way. So depending on what you're trying to do, one mode's going to be better than the other. If you're trying to just thicken up a bass, thicken up a lead, make a supersaw sound, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want it on centered. If you're trying to do like a chord or more of a sound effect or a pad type thing, and maybe your deep house, tech house, future house, you might use the chord mode more than the centered mode. And I was just going to show you what's going on with these. So right now, you see here that you have these 2 numerical boxes, and they go from -12 up to +12, and those are in semitones. So it's moving in hundredths of a cent, right? And so you can go -12 all the way up to +12. By default, the setting will be 0 and 1. Well, that's because it's set up with the thought of you might want to be thickening up a sound. So right now, so let me turn this voicing up to 4 actually. And you can turn this down to, a decimal place for a little bit more of a controlled sound. Double click and it'll go back to 1. Well, what's actually going on with, when you set it to 4 voices of Unison, what's actually going on with these stacks? So it's pretty interesting actually. So when you have the setting like this, where you have it set to 1 and 0 over here, and we'll turn this to the middle position. Right now, voice 1 is being detuned down to -0.75 or -75 cents. So that's what it sounds like there. Voice 2 is being, and these correlate to your voices of Unison over here. Voice 2 is being bumped down to -25 cents. And then voice 3 and 4, they're going up to +25 and +75 cents. So that's what's happening with that stack right now with 4 voices of Unison. And it's pretty interesting because what that means is at the middle position, you've basically lost all of your center voicing, because any Unison engine is going to take its center tone, add these simulated voices by detuning and adding them, and then spread them out left or right. Well, you basically have lost that. The middle voice, voice 1, is detuned down to -75 cents. So, right, it'd be like me turning this off, detuning this down to -75, and then we can simulate the first 2 voices like this, and then I'll detune this to -25. That's basically what's happening, but you have 4 voices, and I can't do that with the oscillators because I obviously only have 3 oscillators. But that's basically what's happening, so it's pretty cool because it is a really powerful effect. So that's why you typically will leave your slider under halfway, because with a lead or a bass or a supersaw sound, you don't necessarily want to lose your center voicing necessarily, right? So now let's look at this chord function here, and I'll turn this back up to 4, and let's go to chord, and I'll turn this up to +12. So let's listen to this. Let me turn it on, and I'll turn it up to about halfway. Actually, I'll turn it up all the way. So you can see the sound just got super thick. And it sounds like there's a lot of harmonic content going on. And if you're thinking that, you're absolutely right. There's basically a stack of a bunch of different octaves above and below the starting or center tone. So voice 1 in our Unison count, which remember we have 4, that actually stays at 0. So that's the original pitch. Now voice 2 is going up 12 semitones. Voice 3 is going down 12 semitones. Voice 4 is going up 24 semitones. So it's a huge stack of chords. Now this would be useful for doing stacks like, fifths, thirds, things like that, or semitones, where you want to get that chord sound for like maybe deep house, tech house. Right, so that's what's going on with chord, is it's adding those different variations. Again, there's going to keep your center voice, and then there's going to be whatever you set this numerical value to above, below, and then 2 octaves above it using that semitone value. So it's a really powerful tool to create sounds. Just to recap, centered is a little bit better for thickening sounds up and making those kind of super saw type leads. If you're going for a chord stack or more of an interesting type sound, like a sound effect or anything like that, then the chord might be a better option for you. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't checked out Massive Synth or ADSR, head on over there. Tons of new features rolling out, tons of new packs, tons of cool things production related. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.